marginalized or made fun of or dismissed or treated with some sort of passion. So you can't change the fact that it's 100. You have to unlearn all that crap. You have to relearn who you are at your core. And I feel like that's what I'm trying to do on a daily basis is try and unlearn the fear, unlearn the shame, unlearn the avoidance, and try and be of service to something that's bigger than just myself.
Destiny is written. Kill me? No. Destiny is not written. Maybe what happened up to now is. My mother used to say, oh, there's those that are going to be hammers and those that are going to be nails. What is money? When I arrived in the United States, I was in high school, and I was given an IQ test when I had been here a month and a half. Now, I got this test, and I didn't know what to do, so I turned it back the same way I got it. The stamp is there. I am a trainable, mentally retarded student in Hollywood High School. I've been married 3 times. My little Catholic mother says, my daughter has been divorced twice. And I said, Mom, some women go through life and they don't find one man that would marry them. I found 3. Look how lucky I am. After my second divorce, I had a son who was 4 years old. The 2 jobs that I had, I was never going to be able to achieve what I want, the future that I want for both of us. I had 40% in my check. But I started investing the mentirita, which was just make believe. With a piece of paper and a pencil. And I saw that I was making money. I said, wait a minute, nobody's taught me this. I mean, education is great, but you learn how to work for a good company. I wanted to own the company. Let me tell you, women, beasts. The men are the heads of our family, we're the neck. And we turn the head any which way we want. Ladies that call me on the radio and they say, I don't work. You know, let me show you how you have to do it. All of us, personal Latinas. So you have your own little money, your little raffle. Let me show you how to invest now. I was doing investment products. You take $100 bill and pass it around, and I would say, tell me what this means to you. And I heard every synonym of the word freedom, options, choices, being Latino brings a lot, especially around money. That money is corruption. That money is for men. You have just to work. It's not enough just to work hard. We have to dispel those myths. We didn't come here to watch no right? We didn't come here to listen to music or to watch sports. Why do we come to this country? Money. There's more Latinos in the United States than Canadians in Canada, and the day we learn how this money system works, that's the day that we're really going to get out and start taking credit for all the long hours that we have put in. I saw your point.
Just give it like 5 minutes. It's not that easy to cross the border these 2 years, all number of ships and all the fences. And, this is cool. It's like a moving boy out the border, so easy. I wanted to do the United States. I wanted to help my dad because he was already doing my own. There was a opportunity to us with a light that it was like, because it was so fast and coming down. And I was like, well, if that's going to happen, what am I supposed to do? The coyote, the guy that was helping us, he was screaming, don't look out, don't look out. I was so afraid because I said, man, I need to look out now. I feel the pressure of the air and the light was so bright. So I looked up and I saw the faces of the officers. I still remember that my grandpa is to tell me that, you know what, you have to have faith. You need to ask God. And I said, I don't know what's going to happen, but you know what, God is making me invisible. And I believe that that's what happened because after a few seconds that the helicopter was stable, then just left. I'm able to interview people from entertainment, from politics, from candidates of the elections that started calling us say, hey, we would like to have an active interview with Clooney. We want to be in the show. I believe it was the first time that the president, you know, jurisdiction. We're like, whoa, in LA, with the Pacific March, I asked my listeners, please come with a USA flag. That is really important to do that. To tell the people that they don't believe in us, that we're here to help the country. I asked them even to carry a plastic bag to be able to pick up whatever trash we will see while we were marching.
Survey eyebrow.
One of the officers, the LAPD, asked how it went, was okay, tell me what we do. It was one of the most peaceful way to send that little message. We took like a million letters of U.S. citizen people to Washington. I said, you know what, if I was blessed by becoming now citizen of the United States, I to share my blessings that I received. That's what I'm telling my listeners. Once you get them, you guys do that. Because that's what it has, this country. It is how important it is to get involved with your community.
In Puerto Rico, we experience complicated race dimensions. And so there's always questions about the color of the skin of children. First question of the old was their family. ¿Cómo salió? How did it come out? Not is it a boy or girl, what color of the skin? Pero bueno, pero malo, good hair, bad hair. My mother was forget about my lips, my bembe, because I have a pretty light skin color, but it might be a betrayal of some other things in our class. I grew up very Catholic. I went to Catholic school and lived in New York, in the Bronx. I was in high school. I thought I'd be a priest, and then I quickly realized make a difference. I'm really looking forward to like to disown me now. So the church for me is the world, and that the golden rule one to others that you're going to use. So understanding that was gay was something I knew since I was about 9 years old. But I was always concerned about my family. They're believing Christians, and it took them a while to understand it. When I was a little boy, there was a fashion show to look at the new uniforms that Catholics put your hands on your waist, pivot, turn. I remember coming home and doing that before my parents, my father. Los hombres no se ponen las manos en la cintura. The men don't put their hands on the cintura. So ever since then, shoulders back, arms down. I see people try to
Chapter is almost so hard to beat. Chapter might be pumpkin.
represent the majority, represent everybody. That's what we do. And I think part of what enables me to do that in some way is that I can tap into my own experience, whether growing up, a Puerto Rican kid or a gay kid, and understand what it means to be disenfranchised for different reasons. The xenophobic backlash right now is unlike anything we've ever seen. Look at this law in Arizona. These laws in Georgia. Where basically you're saying to the police officers, pull them over. These somebody's believe they're undocumented. Well, what's reasonable? Color of their skin, their accent, whether they wear a sombrero or a poncho. A white person sombrero or poncho. God help you if you look brown. You have this economic crisis which is affecting everyone. And you have this smaller part of the population that gets scapegoated for the ails of the entire community. That's when it really gets scary. The only way to make sure we can keep free speech free is to defend the rights of everybody. My assistant has this bulletin board here that says hate mail of the week. God bless you, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, may you die and burn in hell.
Oh.
It's America. You have the right to send hate mail. You have the right to say I've had people protest in front of my speeches. I've had people in front of the building preaching on how I need to repent. There was one minister who thanked him for expressing his free speech rights. He said, but for us, you wouldn't have the ability to do that in front of my building. And there is a certain beauty to it, not just irony, but there's a beauty to it. When my father was in the hospital, he was terminally sick with lung cancer. And I have my hands on my waist, and I have my head down. And he says to me, todavía tienes las manos en la cintura. Dropped the right shoulder back. And he said to me, nunca paré de pensar que eres un gran hombre. I never stopped thinking that he was a great man. And we hugged and kissed him. And we held our peace.
Growing up, there was not a lot of people to look up to. I didn't see a lot of images of Latinos. You didn't know that Rita Hayworth was Latina. Richie Valens, of course, was, but they tried to whitewash his name. You knew Ricardo Montalban was because he had an accent. My role models growing up was my mom, my aunt, grandma, my sisters. That's what I wanted to be like. I came from